Hello. Welcome to Point Nemo. My name is Vince. This is
L. Smith, hey.
And we're here. You've arrived at episode 25. And this is also our third guest episode, you'll notice. And
Trace.
Before we jump into things, I just want to say real quick that we have as you guys know, we have the promo code for cannabinoidsheal.com. Get 15% off your order at checkout when you enter promo code POINTNEMO, one word, all lowercase. So get it while it's hot. You can only use PayPal. And then a shout out to our lovely Patreon member, Rob S.
Rob S. What's up? What's up?
We couldn't be
Rob?
Yeah, we couldn't be where we are right now without you. And also shout out to this new table.
Hey, table.
It's great.
Courtesy of Vinbot over here.
Yeah.
Custom made. We're gonna
build it with my own
you know,
hands.
and honestly, I'm gonna pitch an episode idea that's gonna happen. I think we should do a little rundown of like lacquering this baby up. Giving her a shine.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna make it nice because
Yeah.
it is a real. It's honestly, pictures didn't do it justice. In person, this thing is
So
decent.
So yeah, thank you to Rob S. and all our future Patreon members. Now let's dive right into this. We have our guest here. His name is Mark Carapezza. Give a round of applause.
Oh, thanks.
All right, man.
Maybe we'll add some.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
more people.
some more applause. Dude, thanks for doing this, man. I'm so excited.
No, it's really my pleasure. This is it's come full circle, I guess.
Yeah.
It really has in a lot of different ways, and maybe we'll get into some of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like the kind of surreal elements. But anyway.
Well, I just thought it was interesting how we saw each other again.
I know the first. Just the other week or whatever.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, yeah. Where did I see? I saw you.
You
at,
saw him somewhere.
I saw you at the open mic at the corner table.
Did I not see you before then? I feel
Yes,
like
you.
wasn't at the brewery.
No, then I saw you after at the brewery, like a couple weeks, or like a week later.
Oh,
or
okay,
something.
that's what.
Yeah.
So it was, but we saw each other at the open mic. I think you had told me. Vince had
I had
said
just
Mark. He
seen
was like,
Vince a
he was
couple
like
days
Mark's on
ago, yeah.
Island, and then I was like, saw you at the open mic. Like, whoa.
But the crazy thing is that we were trying to hook up for about a month, but you have a kid. I was working, and
Yeah.
and
then
tried
all
a few
of a
times, and
sudden-
all of a sudden I thought, he walked up to my doorstep with a package. I thought he was delivering FedEx. Turns out he lives in the house behind
Yeah,
where I'm living, which I helped built about 10 years ago.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
so nuts.
And I was telling Blake, I was like, that day I kept, for some reason, it was like a nagging thought. I was like, where the hell is he living? And I was like, I would never like wonder that about
Like,
something.
no lie, 20
Yeah.
yards away.
It was,
Yeah, like,
yeah.
And you've been there for 3 months.
I'd been there since the beginning of January.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's just, again,
It's
I
crazy.
was telling you, it just sums up everything I love about, Nantucket and the universe. It's the coincidentality of it all. It was really fun.
Nantucket's pretty big on that too. Like around the travels people have. I feel like from here.
It's crazy, man. It's a weird place it's just like you said, it's just a weird place for
Dude,
this
when I was
type
in
of shit.
when I was in Nashville driving down the Blue Ridge Parkway, I saw Nantucket Avenue
Weird.
in North Carolina.
Oh,
And I was
yeah,
like,
Nantucket's
there-
everywhere.
It's everywhere. But yeah, then seeing a lot of people, from Nant. That's the crazy one where you see the people from here or people you used to know.
Well, let's go down like a brief journey of how we all met. Let's take the people on a ride.
Now, I was trying to remember when I first met you two. I don't quite remember, but were you like living in the Methodist church or something?
I was.
You were sleeping in the
I
Methodist
was-
church.
It was me.
That's how I got in.
I don't
that's
think
how
I-
met you. Or?
Well, this is how it was. This is how I remember it anyway. I think it was just like from doing Wait Till Dark. It might have been before that. You might have been doing a show. Dude, this is what it was.
It was
think
way
you're
before
right.
Wait Until Dark.
I think you were doing a show in the Methodist church, and I was living in the Methodist church.
And I would show up drunk and play the piano at night at the Methodist church.
because that's what I would do. I would just play piano all night long.
Yeah.
But I'd wait until you guys left to start actually playing piano. But I think you probably stuck around or something, and maybe we had a conversation, and that's.
But
where it
how did I
started.
rope you in to doing so much work on Oliver Diamond?
Well, that was. It might have been that. It might have been around that same time or something. Because was that before? Was Oliver Diamond before Wait Until Dark?
Way before.
For real,
Yeah.
dude. My mind just got blown. Okay.
Yeah, because Pam Murphy was still running the theater when I did Oliver Diamond.
Wow.
And then when we did Wait
Oh
Till
my
Dark,
God.
we had known each other for a while, at least a few years.
So then, dude, I got it all wrong.
Got it wrong.
So what I do remember is maybe having a conversation at the soda fountain, just around the corner from the church.
Yeah.
And I think you had just started I think the show was like just about to start recording, like next week or something like that. And we had just started talking, and I think I was just, saying that I wanted to get involved in theater or something like that.
And you were like, and Mark's like, how would you like to work for free?
Blake, don't blow my cover.
No, that's how you got to start. You got to intern.
No, I mean,
I made a television show using all.
And I somehow got to use a camera and film some of that, which I was like, I had no experience doing, but it was so fun.
Yeah, dude, that was a really fun time.
That was crazy.
And now that I have it in that perspective, that it was before Wait Until Dark, it puts a lot of things into perspective. Wow.
Yeah.
So that was probably just like exactly how we met. There was probably something, but I can't think of the exact what it was.
I knew I was looking for a link into the high school community because the elementary and middle school, they were easy to get to, and the kids were coming out, wanting to be a part of a television show to help write and create it. But the high school kids were a little bit harder for me to reach and gain trust with. And then I think when we became friends, you all were graduating. You all were graduating in like a year or something.
I must have
been.
And
I remember, Vince, me and you went to the graduation.
Yeah. I dropped out.
Yeah, you
I
dropped out.
remember that.
And
my God.
And then you and I went to the graduation. I gave you one of the cameras, and we filmed the graduation. And I have these shots of you, Blake, graduating, and the smile on your face. I still, every once in a while, I'll see this video, and I'll show it to somebody, the Joseph Cardell song that you also sang on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, maybe
Visha and the 12
oh my
somethings
God,
or something.
Like 12
you were
tones.
there, yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
And anyway,
that is tripping me out. I forgot about all of that.
Yeah, I haven't because I see this video, but we went and we filmed all the graduation, and then we used that footage as the video footage to play behind that song.
Right.
And we have shots of you graduating.
Oh my God.
And then we have shots of you
interviewing
outside interviewing, and you interview Blake talking about going down to like Baltimore.
Oh yeah, and I had a mental breakdown. And I had to come back. I did. I went down, and I had to like.
I went first.
I had my
mental
first
breakdown.
Well, I had my first. Like, all right, maybe not get too personal, but I had a first love essentially that I like bailed on to go start a band, and then I was like got too sad and was just like, I'm going home. I want to get back near that girl.
All the better for it.
Well, that fell apart too when I came back. So I just made everything fall apart, but.
Yeah,
that was the time to do it.
So I just don't think you all understand how much you helped me and how grateful I am, but then also how much I still think about you all.
Yeah,
even when I'm not here, when I'm showing somebody footage or when I'm just reminiscing about the old times.
Hell yeah, man.
You all were so pivotal and huge help.
That was a huge thing for us too.
Yeah,
being a part of.
Honestly, I mean, Blake was joking about not getting paid, but honestly, it was like all I wanted to do from that moment on in my head. You know what I mean? It was like, wow, this is so much fun. It felt like you were doing something amazing, Yeah. And it was just like an awesome experience.
It was really fun.
It was really cool.
I mean, we turned that little room into a really cool soundstage.
Oh my God.
That
was a straight up, that was a straight up.
We had 3 cameras. You're one of the cameramen.
I know. That was so fun.
It was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. Remember Arthur going crazy in the bathroom?
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That was insane.
Yes.
It was like
a church life, church
he had
studio.
Tourette's, right?
Yeah, it could have easily been like a sketch in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it was chaos. Like I remember just being on headset. Like, we got an issue. Send Mark down. Somebody find Mark. Yeah. Where is he? Is he in his trailer? But he was going nuts. But anyway,
he would do that.
So dude, let's go into you. Let's talk about let's talk about that time, your time on Island.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? During that time of like Oliver Diamond and
doing
theater and all of that stuff. And let's get into I guess where you were at then, because we have a place we're going with this show, this episode. And so, but it starts kind of there, at least.
Yeah, when I arrived to Nantucket.
Yeah.
Well, I arrived to Nantucket via Los Angeles. I'm a Massachusetts born and raised, outside of Boston. But I moved to Los Angeles when I was about 22 years old lived there for a while, and film and music. And then I came up with this idea, so I moved to Nantucket to produce it because I had met with people from Disney and Nickelodeon. They said the idea wouldn't work, but I was just so stubborn and I knew it would, and I knew that the kids really wanted it, and I thought it would be a good service for not only the kids involved, but the people that watch. And so I set out to make a traveling children's variety show that uses local kids in a community to help write the scripts and whatnot and commercials, a local band. And then after that season, 12 episodes, we go to a new town and do it again. And that way the format stays the same, but the viewers get to see a new culture through the eyes of the kids in the community.
New characters.
And new characters and
amazing.
whatnot.
Amazing
And I just knew
idea.
that it would work, but nobody said that it would. So I needed a place to go. My brother at the time was living here with his girlfriend. She knew Tom Scott. She said Tom Scott was putting together Plum TV. I talked to Tom Scott. He said, great, go to Nantucket. I came to Nantucket, and then Kate Brosnan had no idea what I was talking about or who I was. And quite honestly, she was just very cold to me for some reason. So I just decided not to go down the Plum TV route, which set me back a lot because I had to then go out and make money and buy the cameras and the video equipment and all that stuff. And then finally, years later, when I met you all, that's when finally production was going on.
So how long had
That's
you been
crazy.
on island
I
up
know.
until you production?
About 4 years.
Yeah, wow.
Because in the meantime, I was living with a family. I just got sidetracked. I got taken in with a family, became very tight and close with them, and they mean the world to me. And then I got offered a job at the new school as an art teacher, so I did that for a year. And then I just said, wait, what am I doing? I came here to do this TV show. So I quit everything and just and went to it.
Damn.
And what?
And
About,
in the meantime, I was doing theater.
right.
Yeah.
So it was L.A. first here,
Yeah.
and you still got to do theater here. And how long were you in L.A. again before that?
About
Because you said you were
8
21.
or
So.
9 years.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I think I moved here when I was 29 or 30.
And how long ago was it, Oliver Diamond? How long ago was that?
Well, we had the premiere in 2000. Did you go to the premiere at the upstairs at the Preservation Institute?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it really was.
I think I went. I don't know if I went.
I think so.
I feel like I would have gone.
I think that was in 2007 or 2008, which
Wow.
means we filmed in 2006 or 2007.
I graduated in 07.
Okay, yeah. So then,
Because I must have been in my
It was the
senior
following
year.
September, I think.
Wow, what a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. So and let's also bring up something. Magic Mark.
Yes.
So
That's where it all comes from.
yeah, that's where all of this comes from, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And so, and we'll get more into that whole thing. But were you doing that while you were here?
Magic?
Yeah.
I've been doing magic, yes, wherever I am since I was about 5 or 6 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got all this stuff going on here on Nantucket, and Oliver Diamond happens. What happened after Oliver Diamond?
I had a mental or a nervous breakdown.
An epiphany. A nervous breakdown.
I mean, I had put myself under tremendous amount of stress. This idea was, by the time you were all on board, this was 8 years in the making, I first had this idea after I had been on tour in California performing magic and music at AAA baseball games and art and wine festivals. And then it was actually a father's idea. I don't know who he is, but he said, you should have your own variety show for kids. And then I was like, And I started to kind of piece it together. And if I did, it would be like this. I was like, that's a good idea. And then put it down. And then a month later, it came back. And it's just one of those ideas that wouldn't stop coming back. And when it did come back, it would get, more elaborate and better.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Every time it was a fresher.
Yes. I was
newer.
like, and then wait, instead of doing that, let's do this. And so I just kept on piecing it together. I made in Los Angeles, I made models of the set. I even filmed, I set my apartment up as a talk show and filmed something to show the people that I was going to be presenting it to at Disney and Nickelodeon, that I could be in front of the camera, that I could interview kids. I was managing at My Gym Children's Fitness Center, so I would have the parents and some kids come over to my apartment, do interviews with them with a set. I mean, so by the time I got here, this is way down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now keep in mind, too, you saw how much footage we were collecting just at the live shows. We had 6 live shows, 4 cameras each burning through about 2 hour-long tapes a show. And then on top of that, we had the commercial classes, the acting for camera, like so much footage. This is all on tape. This is not SD cards back then.
Right.
So then after we do all the filming, I'm sitting there in front of a laptop trying to edit and log all this stuff. And I just locked myself away and tried to plow through it because I was just so focused. But I paid the price for it. It was once it was over and the stress was released, just weird stuff started to happen to my body and my nervous system.
Yeah.
Yeah, that combined with some family drama, which we don't need to get into, but it was.
But like everything.
It was like the perfect storm, you know.
I mean, that can definitely. I feel like that happens to a lot of creative people for sure when they get too into something, and it like almost drains you too much,
Yeah. And I felt like there was a lot of pressure There's a lot of pressure I put on myself, but also we're talking a TV show that had like 300 kids involved.
Yeah.
And like a dozen local artists, not including the high school kids.
Yeah, so everyone's like...
So I just felt like...
Everyone's like, we want to see it.
Yeah, like I had to... This got to be good, and I have to get this done, and I was just so stressed out.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I remember you kind of going off the radar,
Yeah.
kind of shortly after that.
It was a lot. I mean, it was a big...
And then I just remember like one day, like, I don't know like how I like found it or what. I was like, what? I like found the videos. They were like online.
Oh, yeah.
Of all the episodes, and I was like, just crushed them all. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So what happened? So after that, so then you left the island. Why'd you leave the island?
Well, I was on Nantucket for a few more years doing theater and whatnot, but
Okay.
and I love this place, but it just got to the point where I needed to make some sort of change some habits or do something, and I also felt as though I could see myself on Nantucket for the rest of my life, but I just wasn't ready for that yet. I felt like I still had some more traveling to do, maybe some other places that I want to live, and I knew, at least I felt like I knew that I could always come back here. Because people kept telling me, they're like, you can always come back, Yeah,
it's the one thing everyone always says. It's crazy.
We'll always be here. Yeah. And it's true. I mean,
Arthur came back, and I think he actually did. He got kind of like kicked off the island a little bit, and he actually is back.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's not only a year-round community here that's amazing, but there's also, for somebody like me who's not born and raised here, I feel like there is this tight club, I guess, or community that you have to kind of work or put your time in, really, to be accepted. I mean, like I said, I partied in this house that we're in, and
it's so like crazy.
I'm very proud of things like that. Like I know you guys.
They connect us all, and like it's a very Nantucket has a lot of connections like that, and it's. I mean, it's a small island, but it's like the web of like connection is way bigger than the island.
All right, let's pause for 1 second. Sorry, no, we hadn't started yet.
Oh, we hadn't started yet.
Okay.
That's good.
And we're
all right.
back.
And we're back. Sorry about all that. So we were getting into you kind of departing from the island.
Yeah.
But before we like fully leave the island, you had a song you wanted to play for us.
Yeah, I would like to, because when I play out for other people and whatnot, this is a song that I never get to play because it's about here, and I don't think anybody would really understand it. So, this song's for you guys.
Sweet.
Wow.
Awesome.
All right.
And I gotta preface, it's really hard to write a song about Nantucket and not to sound too like cheesy and corny and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I don't like those words, but this is my effort for that. Not all my songs are like this, but this is my effort for that.
Sweet.
Is there a name for it?
See you around.
All right.
Here's to the brave men who sailed from Nantucket. Here's to Miss Mitchell and her star-filled eyes making history. And here's to the chiefs that saw the beauty long before the shingles and the well-lit streets. I wanna see you around on Halloween, when all the local ghosts of Main Street or the talking tree, through the rotary, in your winter hat with your dog at the beach. 'Cause to give and to share and to show how much you care, it's the only way to live for us out here on an island. So here's to the teenagers out on Nantucket. Hang in there, kid, there's a whole lot of world out there for you to see. And here's to the hearts that stop too early. Here's to the whalers who are buried at sea. I wanna see you around on Halloween, when only the locals go to Main Street or the talking tree, through the rotary with your daughter and son on your bikes on the streets. 'Cause to give and to share and to show how much you care, it's the only way to live for us out here on an island. So here's to the feelings that are Nantucket. Here's to her fall, her winter, and cute little springs. And here's to the summertime on Nantucket. From the smallest dinghy to all the bling bling. When that bling bling sails away, I wanna see you around on Halloween, when only the locals go to Main Street or the talking tree, through the rotary, in your winter hat with your dog at the beach. And we'll miss Delwyn and Dick Caton and Kate McClellan and Jim Nettles, Will Savarino. Oh, Bradford, you were way too young to go. Talk to me, talk to me. You can all come talk to me, so we can see you around, even when you're beat. We'll drive to the beach and spill it all to the sea. 'Cause to give and to share and to show how much you care, it's the only way to live. 'Cause ain't nobody out here an island.
That was good, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not the best version, but you get the idea. And
I definitely got the idea, man. That's a heavy tune, man. That's a good song. I really like that.
And the names I mentioned, I just want to say it's with respect. It's and just
Totally, man.
I don't mean any.
I mean, yeah. I don't think anyone could do anything but appreciate that song.
It's a beautiful song.
You know what I mean?
It's a really pretty song, dude.
Thanks, man.
That core. I love that chorus. The like Halloween and like where all like the locals meet on Main Street.
Yeah,
with your winter hat and your dog on the beach. Like it's just very like. It's perfectly describes the island and I don't know. It's a lot.
Well, I've been there where like I said, I locked myself up. You didn't see me for a while.
Yeah.
And luckily, I had some good friends that were like, "Yo, Carapezza, where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Get out here! Like,
get out!
Come out and have a drink with me. Come out and go for a walk. Like." And that's what I just absolutely loved about this place.
Yeah.
It's just such a. Again, if you put your time in and you show that you care and you're part of the community, it's going to turn around and do the same for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Damn, man. I'm just like still sitting.
Yeah, I was like caught off
in that
guard, but
vibe.
I didn't expect that song, honestly, like that. I was like, probably can tell on that camera, I was like, like mesmerized, honestly. That was like,
Well, maybe
Yeah.
I'll maybe when I get home I can send you I'll re-record it and send you like a, because I
Definitely.
usually belt that one out. But anyway, whatever. I'm not gonna make excuses. That's the song.
No, man.
awesome
It's
song.
the best I can do, and
I loved
and there
it.
it is for you.
Yeah,
loved it.
no, I'm really happy you played that for us because, yeah, I mean, especially, you know, I don't know what our presence is on the island. I honestly don't like push us. I don't like lately. I've been hashtagging Nantucket in posts.
local
you know?
local
But-
friends of ours do listen for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So like, I hope that this gets around. You know what I mean? Because people should hear that song. You know what I mean?
for sure.
And that's why I think we're doing it here, right?
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously, it's awesome.
So yeah, I really appreciate that, man. That was a great song.
Definitely, like Nantucket people will.
Oh, yeah.
That's at the core, dude. It's a good tune.
I played it the other night at the open mic.
Oh, yeah?
And
yeah.
and I'm really hesitant to play it.
So I was
front of
afraid to
people.
ask. He's like, yeah.
Well, because it's not. I mean, it's definitely me. It's coming from me, but it's not necessarily. I guess it is in the style of my other songs. It's just a hard topic,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, it's a hard topic to try to capture the community, but it was well received.
Yeah.
And so
That's
that was
good.
good.
definitely.
I liked it.
I like this song.
That's really
a lot.
good.
But anyway,
Well, let's talk about after Nantucket, you went to California.
yeah. Well, I went to New York City first. I went to New York City for a couple years.
Oh, okay.
And spent like 3 or 4 months on Nantucket, and then the rest of the year in New York. I don't want to get into that. Was just a dark. New York City's not for me.
Too dark.
Not for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I packed back up and came back to Nantucket for a while to do some carpentry, make some money, and then moved back to Los Angeles. Yeah, and I lived there in Venice, California, for 5 years.
And was that like you were back on the audition circuit?
Yeah. So the great thing about I should talk about the Theater Workshop in Nantucket, which is just an amazing community theater. And anybody who's listening who's never been a part of it, if you've ever wanted to do anything, even if it's just meet people, get involved with the theater. You don't have to be on
Yeah.
stage. It takes tremendous amount of people and effort and teamwork to put these productions together, and the relationships you get out of it last. It's really awesome.
It's an awesome experience working
Yeah.
out of that theater.
And also being on Nantucket, coming from Los Angeles, where I'm, chasing down all these roles and trying to get these roles, and I'm only getting cast for somebody that basically is Mark Carapezza. I come to Nantucket, and all of a sudden, I'm getting cast in all these juicy, great roles, and I'm doing 3 to 5 shows a year, and I'm being appreciated for what I like to do, and so that was great. And enough people, I had enough confidence and regained my confidence in acting and whatnot to say, okay, I have to go back to Los Angeles to see if I do still want to make money or if I still want to have this be my career. And I went back, and just so much things had changed since I left. The digital age had taken over, and I just wasn't into it.
Did you think that like maybe what spurred you to test yourself? That's what it seems like by going back to LA. Was that like because maybe you felt? Because I felt this way. I'm just wondering about you. That like, all right, it's kind of like a big fish in a small pond situation going on here. And was that the thing that brought you out to LA to really go for it, or?
Well, I moved out to Los Angeles when I was 22 to go for it, and I had some success.
Right.
And then some things happened, playing in music and doing other things, kind of went down a different path. September 11th happened, which really made me question a lot of things. But then after being on Nantucket for those years and doing so much theater, and I was having people come after the show, people I didn't know, and I'm going to blow my own horn here, but people from New York City and Washington, D.C. being like, why aren't you in New York City? Or Los Angeles and whatnot, and I'd be like, well, I was, and so I had enough confidence through random people, and you can tell when people are being genuine or not.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to your
for
friends,
sure.
like, hey, great job, yeah, thanks, whatever. You're gonna say that no matter what. But when random people take the time to wait for you after the show, who you've never met before,
Oh yeah. They're
it
usually
was like,
not
okay,
there to like.
maybe I, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
you were
yeah.
gonna say. Sorry.
No. It's I felt the same way, and I just wanted to like. I was curious because that's how I felt doing theater here, and I'd go out and try to do it in New York, but I would just be, first of all, I was too young to like process like how much hard work it was. We were talking about this earlier today. It's like it has to be everything, even if you're not acting. You're like everything about acting, like making calls, reaching out to people, going to auditions.
Yeah.
It was like too daunting on me, you know.
Well, I think it's also hard for someone like you, who I feel like I'm similar in the sense that if I have free time, I'm going to find something else to do. So if I'm not acting and I can't do this and can't do that, okay, so then I'm going to get a band together.
Right.
Or I'm going to start an art project. And all of a sudden that eats up time. And all of a sudden I get focused on that. And I just wasn't giving the amount of time that's really needed to break into that business. It's an extremely hard business to get into, first of all.
And especially out in LA, I would imagine,
Yeah.
is like it's like, why would you do that to yourself kind of thing? But it's like, it seems like an awesome journey in a lot of ways, and a scary one or a painful one, but you seem like you made it. Made it out all right. So you said you were there after leaving here. You were in LA for 5 months, or sorry, 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years, and just
well, once I made and I was teaching magic.
Oh, right.
And had a really great, successful after-school magic program, teaching kids how to be a magician.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That's so cool.
That was great. Didn't think it was going to be that successful, but it ended up being really great business for me.
How long did you do that?
About 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. In all different schools, because all the arts are cut out of schools now, so they look for other people to come in and teach after-school enrichment programs.
Yeah.
And so I put together this Magic Mark's, how to be a magician after-school course. Really cool.
That sounds so cool.
So cool. Like.
And then I was living in Venice, and I was having fears of tsunamis and earthquakes and whatnot. And also, I had made
now
the decision.
I know why I got you as a guest.
Exactly.
This is my biggest fear.
Mine's tsunamis for sure.
Yeah. And then once I realized that I wasn't going to go full-hearted with this acting thing, which is what you have to do, I just realized, like, okay, well, what else am I gonna do? And I had always wanted to go. And I needed to take care of myself at this point in my life, because the nervous breakdown from the Oliver Diamond show, that was still had some effects on me and whatnot.
Maybe not fully processed, really, like kind of moved on.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I forgot to mention also, I think, and I hate to admit this, but I still haven't been tested for Lyme's disease, but I think I might have gotten Lyme's as well, or something like it that really threw me.
That's definitely I feel like a big, New England in general too.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, that'll do damage to you physically and mentally. You know what I mean? Because that's what happened to me once. I kind of snapped. And it was from that. It was scary.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder.
It affects everybody differently. And whatever it was, it affected my nervous system.
Right.
So there had been a couple years where I was looking into taking care of myself and spending the money on some sort of retreat. And I had always, the classes, like the asana classes for yoga that I'd been to before, I always loved. I thought maybe I'll just go for a month someplace and meditate and focus on my nervous system. But every place that I looked, it was so expensive in California and all these places. And so I just typed in cheap yoga retreat and everything led back to India.
Yeah.
And then I realized that there are some retreats that included, room, board, food, and if you take these courses, you get a certificate to teach. And I had no intention of teaching yoga, but I thought, at that price,
Why not?
why not? So
Yeah.
So then I packed up from Los Angeles and went to India.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's so crazy. Kind of ping pong in between the coasts, and then over to India for the soul search.
I soul searching, yes and no. I mean, I always feel like I've been somewhat in contact with my soul, which I'm very thankful and fortunate for. But my soul needed to be taken care of, and repaired.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so cool, man. I always envy people that have this kind of freedom. You know what I mean? And I'm not even not to say that I don't feel good about my life, but like to think about that, just like knowing you and all the stuff leading up to that, you know what I mean? To just like make a choice, that probably felt, I mean, that must have felt pretty awesome. Just like making the decision to go.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, and part of it also too was I had seen a picture of one of my friends that I had done theater with in Los Angeles on Facebook. He was on a Royal Enfield, which is a motorcycle, with his girlfriend in the Himalayas, and I was just like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I went on a motorcycle tour through the Himalayas for 3.5 weeks,
Jesus.
and then went and studied yoga for about a month and a half, 2 months.
What was that motorcycle trip like? I mean, because I'm just envisioning like you
I'm
never
envisioning
seen
it
people
not
or
being like fun, but being like adventure fun. Like
It was
cold,
definitely adventure
rough.
fun. It was a gift to myself that continues to keep giving. You know, we would get on the motorcycles each day and ride for however many kilometers or miles, and I'd put my earbuds in and just
get lost.
Oh my god.
amazing scenery, and some of these villages that we ended up with, because I went on a tour that was run by a local Indian man. A lot of these tours now they're getting popular, and a lot of them are run by either Brits or French or a lot of Australians. But I went with this Indian guy, expats, yeah. But this Indian guy had so many connections.
Yeah.
So we were going some places that I know these other tours weren't going, and some of these villages that we ended up in. We ended up in the middle of, I don't even know where we were, up this mountain at this tiny little monastery. They were having a once-in-a-decade festival with all the monks and all the locals. I was like one of 5 white guys there, and
Oh my god.
just seeing the ceremony and these monks dancing in these costumes that are thousands of years old with incense and flags, and it was incredible.
That's amazing.
And that was how many months?
That was 3 weeks.
Oh, that was only 3 weeks. Okay.
That was the
Only.
motorcycle.
Your whole time in India, though.
Well,
that time.
I've been to India twice now,
Right.
but that first time was a 3-month trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds so cool, though. That motorcycle. And were
like,
you doing?
so surreal too?
It was
Like
great.
coming upon something like that, being like, it only happens once in a decade, and being like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I need to like be a part of this if we're near it.
Yeah.
You know what else was there? It was really cool too. Speaking of like nervous systems and whatnot, Ayurvedic doctor was there from Tibet visiting, giving his services for free to people.
What is that?
It's this ancient way of doing basically a physical checkup where a doctor will feel your pulse with 3 or 4 fingers and get the beat of your pulse, look in your eyes, look at your tongue, and then diagnose you. Now, I was born with spina bifida, which is a disease in the lower back, where normally when you're born with it, you're dead because you're born with a gap in your spine.
Okay.
But mine is just close enough where the nerves, and again, this is maybe where the nerve problems come from as well. Like, I just don't know. But anyway, I was born with that, and you can't know that about me unless I tell you that. But sure enough, I sit down with this guy, and he feels my pulse, and he's looking at me. He's like, there's something the matter with your lower back. It's in your vertebrae. And I was like, how the hell do you know that from feeling my pulse?
Yeah.
And I went to 2 other Ayurvedic doctors while I was in India, and they all said the same thing.
What?
So I just found it really interesting.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow. Just keep
wonder
kinda
what-
making me think about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about going to the doctor.
I know,
I need to
in
go to
general.
the doctor.
Didn't know that about you, the spina bifida. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you? So then you leave India. Why do you leave India? And
Well,
where
just
do you
because
go?
I had a plane ticket.
Oh, it was just a right. It was just
a
a certain
specific.
amount.
Yeah, I was gonna go do the motorcycle tour, and then go do my yoga training because I really wanted to start taking care of myself spiritually and nervous system wise. And I knew that meditation works,
Right.
and yoga works.
Yeah, I love meditation. My wife does yoga, and I try sometimes, but I could just I just don't because I'm I'm a piece of shit.
No, that's
but-
not true. Let me tell you something. A lot of Westerners have a misconception of what yoga is. Yoga is not going to a class and doing poses.
Right.
Yoga is a lifestyle for
Yeah.
all religions. It has a moral code, but it's a moral code that you probably follow already.
Right.
Be nice, be honest and nice, no harm.
Try to be the best person you can be.
best
Yeah.
person you can be, and be forgiving of yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
That's
like have
that's a big
empathy.
one.
That's the hardest.
That's the one I don't do at all.
No,
I need to practice that more.
Yeah, be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Got to.
And the asanas, the poses, I think what you're talking about, the classes, all that's for is to get yourself in shape, but it's so you can sit and meditate for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been meditating and I need to do it more because it is so beneficial.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like, and it's hard to describe other than like a spiritual thing, but it just like feels like you're working from behind the scenes in a way when you're meditating. Like you are like aware of your kind of your entity, you know, that you are, and you're just like kind of like, all right, yeah, here I am, like.
Vince, it's like
You know.
it's like you are cueing my next song for you.
Oh yeah.
I just want to also shout out to Sonny Wood and and Doug
Cody?
Cody?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He had a podcast, right?
He still
Doug
has
Cody.
a podcast, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Inside the Whale.
Inside the Whale. Well, I've only listened to one podcast, and it was with Sonny Wood because I'm a huge Sonny Wood fan.
Shout out to Sonny Wood.
Shout out to Sonny Wood. And they were talking about meditation, and he brought up a book called The Presence Process. And I was living in Los Angeles, in Venice, during that 5 years when I was really struggling with my nervous system. And he mentioned that book, and I gave it a shot. It's a 10-week meditation course, and I recommend trying it if you all want to do it.
I am
wrote it?
totally.
Do you know who wrote it?
I don't
Totally
remember
into
who wrote
looking
it,
into that.
but basically you meditate twice a day, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, and each week you're focused on something else. And the idea is when you start having emotions in the day, the author calls these messengers. So whether it's a person, whether it's a tree, or whether it's a dog, when something makes you feel a certain way, you need to remember the last time you felt that way. Now, you could have felt that way from a cup of coffee. If the tree gives you a certain happy feeling, when did I last feel like that? Okay, my cup of coffee this morning. When did I feel like that before? And you go back and you regress as far as you can into your childhood. And the more that you meditate through this, the further back you can access your childhood. And you got to be brave and go with it. But like the emotions that are bad and hurtful, you go back and you try to remember the first time you felt that. And when
I gotta do this.
and
for
when
sure.
when you do this, that knot, that struggle, that whatever, it just it loosens or even dissipates.
Might be the next Point Nemo challenge we do, or like
presence process.
Yeah. I like that. I mean, I
I
definitely-
would not.
present.
I would
but
not.
is that
be
what
at
the
all-
book's called? The presence process.
The presence process. Yeah,
All right, we're gonna definitely.
I'm
look
gonna
into
look into that.
I highly recommend it. That was
Yeah.
Definitely.
I like stuff like that. That's like kind of. It seems like a cheat code or something to life. You know.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, yeah. Oh, did it go?
I think it died.
Here, hand it to me.
It
We'll
just
keep
shut
we'll
off.
keep going, and
Okay.
I'll figure this out. I wanted to ask though, with the motorcycle tour and everything.
Yeah.
Were you doing magic that whole time?
I brought magic tricks then as well.
Because you're doing magic all the time.
Well, I bring whenever I move someplace or go on a trip, I try to bring a few tricks, just in case. You know me. I don't look for the people who don't know me, who are listening or watching or whatever. You have to understand, I'm not some master magic magician. I do magic shows for families.
Yeah.
But I try to bring some tricks in case, I run into, like, I knew that we were going to be stopping at an orphanage on this motorcycle tour. So I brought tricks to do a magic show for that orphanage and whoever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I brought some magic tricks.
That's amazing. I mean, that's awesome because I don't know. I know Vince too was very into magic. I personally never was like into doing magic.
Yeah.
But I've always loved. I watch all the magic specials, all the shows. I mean, and seeing tricks live. I mean, always been a big fan. Like card, like when Vince would learn sleight of hand and card tricks, like stuff like that. I love because it's very, very impressive when even like you said, it's not like, it's not David Copperfield making like the Statue of Liberty disappear, but honestly, even watching that, it's like I'd rather see like the card tricks like in person, because it's like so crazy to be, because you're like I'm gonna get it. You're like I'm gonna find out where it's not magic, but then it's like you always get surprised because it's just people are that good.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you? Like you said, you got into magic when you were 5, right?
Yeah.
I mean, was it like who was the guy who started it for you, or like how did you fall into?
I got really lucky. I was at like some 5 and dime shop with my mom and saw a magic trick on one of those spinny cartwheel things, like,
Oh yeah.
Like comics or like
yeah,
toys
like fake dog shit, fake
Yeah.
cigarette, a magic trick, a cap gun,
Yeah.
And I saw like this thing, and it was like a magic, the magic ball and vase, and I was like, I want the magic ball and vase. So I brought it to my mom at the counter, and she's like, fine, whatever, it's $1. Now, where I got lucky, because we all get magic tricks when we're kids.
Yeah,
or most
I did
of us
have
do.
magic tricks.
Right?
I just
So
never got good at them.
Well, so the question is, why am I still doing magic and you're not? And I think because I got really lucky in the sense that I brought this trick home, showed it to my mom and dad, my sister, they liked it. And then, under the bed, whatever gets lost. But the next week was Thanksgiving. And my mom was like, Mark, why don't you bring the trick and show Grammy and Grampy? Okay. So I bring the trick to Thanksgiving. My mom has a big family. So I stop everybody in the middle of dinner. I show the ball and vase trick, and they give me money. And so I'm riding home that night. I remember in the back of the car, like counting these dollars. I had like $10 or something. I was like, Christmas is next month. I could get more money, Right. So I took the $10 and bought 4 or 5 more tricks. Showed up at Christmas with a suit and a table. Did an actual show where I mumbled my way through it. They gave me more money, and then I did a show at the talent show that year in kindergarten. And so I was collecting tricks at this point. Now, what made the biggest difference, and I think what has really made it so I've stuck with it, was that when I was about, I think 7 or 8, Santa Claus brought me 500 business cards that said Mark the Magician on them with my phone number, and it said children's parties and events. And being that age, I was just handing them out shamelessly to whoever. And sure enough, I started to get phone calls. So my mom would drive me around on the weekends, and I would have 1 to 3 shows a weekend when I was 10 to 15 years old, performing out of one of my mom's old tourister suitcases.
Yeah.
And I was making money. Like, people were paying me, and I was buying more expensive and better tricks.
Right. I think that's like the crazy part where you're like, you got the money from Thanksgiving and you invested in more. Like, that's such a smart thing.
That's what you hear every great entrepreneur say.
They don't go, I got the $10 and
yeah.
I blew it on candy. Like, it's like you straight up are like, I put it back into more tricks.
Yeah. Well, I was like, wait a minute. If I show up at my grandparents' house every time and show magic tricks, they're going to give me money?
Yeah, like,
let's do this.
Let's do it. I'm full gear. Let's go.
That's hilarious. It's so cool, though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's really the business cards that kind of have stuck with me, because I don't advertise very much. When I came to Nantucket, I did. Well, usually what happens is when I move someplace or when I travel someplace, I do a couple free shows, and then from there, people will just either say, "Oh, I saw this guy at the library," or "Can I get your phone number? My son's having a birthday party next month," and then it kind of snowballs from there.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, I wish my grandparents did that to me, and then I'd still be doing magic and making money.
You were pretty cool into it, though.
Vince, I teach magic. You wanna see a trick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do some?
Yeah?
You got a trick
some
for us?
magic?
Yeah.
All right, dude. Yeah, let's see.
Do,
This is for our viewers only. You audio listeners, you're missing out here.
You
but,
audio listeners are going to miss the best magic trick you've ever seen.
But you're gonna hear some reactions, us being blown away.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll film it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you got that?
Yeah.
Too. It is a nice camera. It's just being finicky.
Okay.
So you're gonna film it from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I'll do the trick to
To me,
Blake, I
where
guess.
should I kind of? I'll just kind of be.
I'm gonna have to move this a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't get too messed up.
Do you want me to move this
figure it
like
out.
right here?
Yeah, I'm
the
going to
little
use this
space?
here. I'm trying to work around this.
Okay.
So this trick's called Brainwave. It's a really, really clever trick. I can even show you how to do it afterwards if you want to. Might take a few minutes, but we need 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Don't need those.
Okay.
So it's interesting performing for adults because usually I do these tricks for kids, so it's a little bit. My nerves get a little bit. I get a little bit more nervous when I do them for adults.
I have the mind of a child, so this will work.
So as you can see, all the cards are different. We have 8 different cards here.
Okay.
This is hard to reach for me, but
Sorry.
that's all right.
I'm gonna try to get
No, it's the microphone. It's
if we can, yeah.
Is that okay?
It's just always gonna be like in the way. That thing is always in my way when I use it.
So we got a whole bunch of different cards, 8 different cards.
Okay.
See any you like? Now the idea behind these 8 cards is I already know which card you're gonna pick.
I do. I see one I like. I see.
Yeah?
I think I've decided. Yeah.
Which one is it?
I was gonna go for the Ace of Diamonds.
The Ace of Diamonds. You sure about that?
I am. I think.
You don't want to change your mind?
I don't. Do I have to?
No, it's up to you.
I don't. I took a sec to really decide on that. I'm
but
good.
like I said, I knew that you were going to pick that card.
Yeah.
How would I prove that to you? Do you trust me?
I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
I knew that you were going to pick that card.
Oh wait, no, I don't.
Abracadabra.
Oh wait, no. No.
No, but I can prove it to you because...
Yeah, prove it to me
what
beyond our trust.
Okay, well, before the trick started, basically, but before I came over here, I knew that you would pick that card. So I made all these cards here. These ones are the red ones. You see they have red backs on them.
Okay.
But the card that you picked has a blue back.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Very easy, simple trick. We can actually do it again if you want
Wow.
to. It's
Let's do it.
The cards do all the tricks.
Let's do it again. Can we do 8 new cards? Can we do 8 new cards, or do we do 8?
These are the special magic
These are
cards.
the magic
These
cards.
are the magic ones.
Because
Okay.
I don't do the trick. The cards do the trick.
Okay, but I'm picking out. I can pick out.
Or Vince can pick another one.
Why don't you,
Or
Vince?
or
Why don't you
Blake
pick
can
a card
one.
this time?
All right, I'll do it.
You use it. Use your mind.
Which one you
Oh,
like?
okay.
Do you want me to film you?
I can follow my instinct, or am I supposed to?
You can do whatever you want,
okay.
man.
I picked one.
Which one is it?
I have to just.
Because
tell
I
you?
don't do the trick. The cards do the trick.
Dude, I don't think that this is gonna work, but it's because I'm scared that
Tell
it's
me.
gonna work.
Tell me.
All right, I picked the Joker.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Really? You want the Joker?
I want the
All
Joker.
right, we're going to have to do something special for you then to really blow your minds.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What color card was yours?
Mine was red.
Your card was red and everything
Oh
else
no
was
no
blue?
it was blue
Your,
and
your card was blue and everything
everything
else
else
was
is red.
Right.
Okay, how about this? I'll tap like this, and I'll bring this over, and I'll make all these cards the blue ones.
Oh my god!
Okay?
It's not-
No!
So your
dude.
card, Vince, that you chose.
Oh my god!
God. Wow.
That's
Round of
awesome.
applause. Round
That's
of applause.
awesome. Seriously.
That's called the brainwave.
Wow.
That's.
Very, very simple trick. Have you seen that one before, Vince?
I have not.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen that one.
I love that because it's not using. It's using the back colors of the card
Yeah.
as the. And that's awesome that you switched.
Dude,
all-
that was incredible.
That was so awesome.
If you knew how it's done, you'd be like, how the hell did I miss that?
Exactly. I
You know what I
feel
mean?
like that might be.
I feel like
well,
I'm-
just because I've done magic that I feel it too. But that's why I think honestly I stopped doing magic, or maybe
I was gonna say
it's
if we
because,
do,
dude,
if we
I
do,
love, and even though I kind of know I can see tricks and how they're maybe done, I still love the feeling.
I know, but
Of
that's
being
what I
cool.
mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Like you just said, you're like, I do this for kids, and it's like honestly, the thrill I got. I've never seen that trick performed like live in front of me. So to see it is like when you did it to Vince, when you're like, well, I'm gonna make them all like blue, and it's like that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, it is cool, and it's cool to have that reaction. But I just want to say what's really cool, which I don't know how to explain it, but the art of magic.
Yeah.
The fact that somebody, because again, if I showed you how that works, the fact that somebody thought that was going to work
Yeah.
and made it work and had the balls to try it on somebody, because when I show you how it works, you're going to be like, yeah, how did I miss that? But there's such an art to magic that that goes unseen. The costuming, the presentation, the words, the misdirection. And if it's done right, you're not going to ever see that.
Yeah.
You're just going to think that this guy's magic, which is the point.
That makes me. One show I was briefly watching was they have that on Netflix where it's like that dude is like he reveals all the magic secrets.
Yeah.
Have you watched that one?
The Masked Magician or
Yeah,
whatever.
but you watch those and also like the tricks he like undoes. It's always like it's really weird.
Yeah.
They're always like the really elaborate ones, but those are the ones. Like that's what I mean. I like the slide of the cards. Because I'm like,
And the
what's
story,
going on?
you know,
that's what I mean.
The
Feeling, like
yeah.
the feeling of like you're like being like, are you sure? And it's like you're making me be like, wait, am I sure?
That's all misdirect. It doesn't matter what card you all picked. It would have been a different.
But that's
color.
what I mean. I love that
crazy,
though.
Yeah,
But
no, it pulls you away into.
yeah, like Vince has shown me plenty of tricks, and to still, it's like I still have that almost like childlike faith in being like, this is gonna be something weird.
And that was
like,
all
and,
I
yeah.
ever wanted whenever I would do tricks for anyone. It was just to make them feel whatever I felt from seeing
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
And so like anything I could do to like build that up or make it even more, you know?
Well, I remember there was a point where I would bump into you and you'd be like, "Look, my shoelaces are untied," and I'd be like, "Oh yeah," and all of a sudden you did the magic shoelace.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Which is like and I started to get into this mode too when I was living on Nantucket because I was doing so many magic shows here, and all of a sudden I'd be in Stop and Shop and I'd see a kid that I had just done a magic show for, and he'd be like, "Magic Mark," and I'd be like, "Ah." I don't have anything.
Right.
I don't have anything on me, so I started going into Stop and Shop with like $50 up my sleeve
Yeah.
or like a Starburst in my pocket. So when I did see a kid that I did a magic show for, and they said Magic Mark, I could
Be like,
I could
boom.
be that.
Right.
I could be Magic Mark.
No,
That
was
is-
it
that's
was
awesome.
awesome. Yeah. Wow.
I
that
remember
trick
the
was
shoelace
dude. Yeah, the
Yeah.
shoelace.
Yeah, that's great.
Was one of my favorites. So, what was I going to ask you? Oh, so magic. That did that the fact that you had already been doing magic for so long, did that sort of make the decision to like go out and become an actor kind of with like a no-brainer sort of? Or
Yeah, well, I mean, again, going back to what we just talked about, the art of magic, it's just acting. It's acting like you're magic. I mean, look, nobody can make anything disappear.
Right.
But yet, if you have somebody really acting like they can, and they feed you the right story, and they misdirect you the right way, you're gonna be like, dude, that guy really made something disappear. But
That guy's a wizard.
he didn't. I mean, friends will come up and tell me, I saw this magician, and they'll give me this story, and they'll explain a trick, and I know the trick that they're talking about, and usually they embellish it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because looking back and like, no, but this guy was really magic. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, you know, tell me.
I saw a portal open
You
up
know?
and the coin went in.
Yeah, like he drew a like alchemy symbol on the ground, like summoned a statue. Like, nah.
Yeah. But yes, to answer your question, I mean, I think magic has been the greatest acting class I've ever had. How
Right.
to act natural while you're doing something very unnatural.
Right.
Yeah.
And being believable. And trying to convince people that you are really magic. And then so when I started doing theater, I think my directors meant it as a compliment. They'd be like, "Mark, you're natural." But it was kind of, not offensive, but it was kind of throwing away all the hard work that I had done, you know, in magic. And, you know, so it's like, I'm not a natural. I just know how to try to be believable.
Yeah,
now.
to make you
Yeah.
think I'm being natural.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which then I guess would bring into like the difference in that I guess like when you go into acting, you're trying to be that. You
Yeah.
know, you're not trying to be the magician making the thing seem believable. You're actually trying to immerse yourself in those.
It's the same
role.
thing.
Same thing. I guess.
You know,
yeah.
you know, it's the same
Technic.
thing. You know, when Tom Hanks plays somebody in a movie, it's basically Tom Hanks, but he is a character.
Right.
When I'm a magician,
mostly
it's
Tom.
basically me, but I'm a magician.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching that particular when you were doing that trick. I was like, oh, that's like who everybody sees when he does this trick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's so cool. And it's cool because, and this is why I think people appreciate actors, you know, is when you see like their level of confidence while they're performing or doing whatever it is they're doing. Any artist, when you see them like totally in their comfort zone, you know, even though inside they may be totally like terrified, like, am I going to screw this up, or am I, you know, are they going to see, or whatever it is. It's like when you're showing your audience, like, and you're in your strongest zone, dude, it's like everybody's like tuned in and on some like crazy, like energy thing. You know what I mean?
That
like,
card trick made me feel good.
yeah,
that's
I felt
what
like
I
a
know.
kid again.
That's what I mean. It's awesome.
I agree. And going back to the
magic.
Nantucket community as well as the Nantucket Theater and performing here, I remember when before I would hit the stage every time doing a show, I would just take a peek out at the audience, which you're not supposed to do in the theater world, but I would always do it. And I would see all my friends and people, and I would just think, none of these people want me to fail. They all want me to succeed.
Yeah.
They all want me to do well. And not only that, I've learned in life that, through Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, or whatever artist, as long as you give it your all, as long as you just totally open up your heart, people are going to relate to it.
Yeah.
Whether you're a good singer, whether you're a bad singer, as long as you're speaking from your truth.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's so cool. So let's go, because you went back to India. We don't have to stay on it too long, but like you came back to LA.
Yeah.
What kind of, in a nutshell, happened there, and then sent you back to India?
Well, so I went to India the first time, and I made the decision not to follow acting anymore, right? And then I went to India to go a little bit deeper into myself. And when I was there, I met some really great friends. And when I was leaving India the first time, a lot of people said, you should go back and just make artwork, because whenever you talk about it, that's when it seems like you have a light. So when I moved back to South Pasadena, lived in my friend's back house, great situation, and just made art and rode a motorcycle and did magic shows and taught magic. And that was for about 9 months. And I kind of knew that I wanted to head back to India again because I had a 10-year visa in India.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's really cheap there. So, I mean, somebody like me who's not making much money, I can make my money go a little bit longer. And I really enjoyed what I had found with the practice of yoga, and I wanted to go a little bit deeper with that as well. So then I went back again for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so during those 6 months, you focused on magic, yoga.
Yeah. So the second time I went back with my actual magic suitcase.
Right.
And I brought that with me, and I just said, I'm going to do magic as wherever I can. And some of the places were truly incredible. Like some of these houses, huts, walls, whatever you want to call them, with 3-4 generations of people in them who don't speak any English, who never seen magic before. In the middle of the Himalayas, all of a sudden I'm doing magic shows for them, and it was pretty trippy.
Did you ever like
crazy.
freak anyone out? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Freak some people out.
I just got freaked out by that card trick, but in a good way.
Look, you all know that I'm not magic.
Right.
Okay, it's different there.
I don't know. That's still up in the air for me.
Thanks,
I'm not.
Mike.
I'm not.
Thanks, Mike.
Jury's out on magic for me, and especially if you're Magic Mark, because you're Magic Mark.
Well, the one thing that was really interesting was I have some coin tricks, and so making money appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
in a country that is relatively poor, especially some of the villages that I was in, and then taking that money and doubling it, people were really like, what the fuck, man?
Like,
Or they're like,
they
you
thought
need
you
to
were a
stick
wizard.
around.
Yeah, so I stopped doing. I
You
stopped
kidding.
doing coin magic. I stopped doing
Wow, 'cause it
any
was getting
magic
too,
with money.
too real. Wow.
Well, it was just kind of excessive or offensive
Yeah.
in
Oh,
some
I
ways.
see what you're saying.
That
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Because it wasn't like you were like, here you go. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't giving them the money, but
they're coming
yeah.
up to you with money. Can double this.
Yeah,
please? Like,
so it was strange.
But what about the yoga? You were just learning more.
Yeah, now yoga is something that
Like who were like? It's obviously not like a class with a bunch of moms in there. You know?
no, it's a
So
Hot
what is-
yoga.
So yeah, I'm curious. What is it? Can you give us just like, what is it like over there? Like that's where it all came from.
Well, I was studying in Rishikesh, which is where yoga, they say it's the capital of yoga. It's where it was pretty much documented. Yoga's been around for thousands of years, but then it was written down, like the science of it, of the poses, the mantras, what everything does and how to, go about the way to live the yogic lifestyle was written down, I believe, in Rishikesh. So that's where I was studying, and it was an intensive course. The second time I went back was a 2.5-month course. Again, up in the mountains, yoga and meditation all day, vegetarian eating. And I just want to say, I was raised Roman Catholic. And as soon as I could start to question things, I think one of my strengths and one of my weaknesses with some relationships is that I question everything. I feel like I'm always searching for the truth. And Catholicism didn't really answer some of those questions for me. So I made up my own religion in my head when I was a kid and had my own way of looking at the world. And then when I got older and realized what the philosophy of yoga was, I just had this feeling like, oh my God, this is my tribe. This is someone else already thought of this. The way that I think, somebody else thought of this thousands of years ago. And I really felt great about it. And it might not be for everybody, but it can be. It's non-religious. It's self-practice and going in, and so it's good.
No, I think people that have any weird stigma about yoga, I've always heard that, but it's like they're not even on my radar. You know what I mean? So it's weird that anyone would be like kind of scared.
Well, I don't know if they're scared. I just think they think it's.
They would probably have to be
like,
super religious themselves or something.
Well, it's
maybe
like
even
the
have
stereotypical yoga pants with the coffees and the mats,
or that stigma too. Yeah,
there's a bunch of. I feel like there's a lot of stigmas around.
There's a lot. Well,
beyond the actuality of what it is. For
and
sure.
I think some of those stigmas are true because some of those there are those people. I mean, some of the people that go to India, or most of the people. I mean, look, I was hurt. I was trying to recover. And a lot of people are there for that. I didn't necessarily have the emotional baggage that I met some other people that did. But you get some really interesting people. I remember sitting around in one of the meetings when you first meet everybody, you go around and say your name, where you're from, if you want, how old you are. And we get to this young woman and she says her name and she says how old she is. And she says, I'm 3,000 years old. And she just kept on going like it was just, I'm 3,000 years old. And at first I was like, what? Like, you are what everyone's, that stigma, that, like the fruity whatever. But sure enough, man, by the end of the course, and after I became friendly with her, and after you start to realize or think about your soul, quote unquote God, whoever, whatever that is, and the energy that's running through you, which can never die, energy can't be, created or dismantled. Right. All of a sudden you start to wonder, I wonder how old I really am, actually. Maybe I'm 3,000 too.
You never know.
It's like in K-Pax where at the end Jeff Bridges is like, maybe he is an alien.
I didn't watch K-Pax.
Oh, shout out to Kevin Spacey.
But
shout out.
Jeez, that was a bad.
No, but
believe that.
Yeah, maybe. No, that's really awesome. And then you were also telling me about this children's home.
Yeah. So I did some intense training for about 3 months, and then I was getting ready to get on a motorcycle and drive to Nepal. I had bought a motorcycle, and I was ready to go, and then the monsoons had washed out the road, so I got laid back or stuck back for a couple weeks. And then one of my friends that I studied with had just volunteered at a children's home / orphanage / school. And she had told them that she knew a magician. And then they invited me to go do a magic show there. I did a magic show there. The woman who ran it spent some time in Los Angeles as an actress, so we started talking about improv. She said, oh my gosh, the kids would love to take improv classes and learn English better. Yeah, so I started volunteering there once a week, and then that went on for about a month and a half. And it went so well that I was really honored and blessed to be asked to live at the school, which is very rare. Not many people do that. So I moved in and lived at the school for 3 months. And guys, that's an experience that will stay with me forever. That was deep stuff.
That's amazing. Yeah. Like teaching kids, to learn another language through improv even
now,
magic.
I wasn't.
Not like teaching, but
right.
Still
I wasn't one of the school teachers, but I was there
like,
whenever the kids weren't in school, and it was very Montessori style. Like we'd be at the beach down by the Ganga, and they'd be like, "Oh, look at the moon. What's going on with the moon?" or something. And then that's where I would kind of try to give them enough information to answer their question, and a little bit more information for them to want to ask more questions.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and if some kid wanted to learn about whatever, I would do my best to tell them what I knew.
How long did you do that?
3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah. And that's actually where I'm going back to, because the most exciting part, and what I'm really fired up about these days, is do you all remember the flag project, Wishes from Nantucket?
I do, yeah.
I kind of do.
So in short, for the people, for anybody that doesn't know about it, when I was on Nantucket, another small project that I did, I say small, but it ended up being rather big. I went to all the schools, elderly homes, sporting events, and wherever I could, with donated bed sheets from all the inns. In September, I would go around to Nantucket Inn and wherever and collect all their used bed sheets. I would rip them up and dye them all different colors. And then I would go into the schools, like I said, with paints and magic markers and ask people to make their wish on their flag. Only rule was you can't wish for any harm on a person, place, or thing. I just asked them to really focus on their wish while they were creating their flag. They could write it, draw it, they could just make a design, as long as they were thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then we sewed all these wishes together into like 50-foot strands, 5-foot strands. And then for 2 weeks in March 2011, all these flags went up for a snowstorm, actually. It was really beautiful.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Now, the idea of this project, and again, one of my downfalls is I sometimes get ahead of myself, but the idea of this project is to someday have this project happen at the same time all around the world. So when I was at this school in India and getting to know these kids a lot better, they would ask me what I did in America, and I would tell them, and we had already kind of run through all the magic tricks and we played songs, and then so I started showing them Oliver Diamond clips, and I showed them.
So some kids in India have seen my
Oh
face.
yeah, definitely. That's what I'm talking.
That's
Guys,
cool.
I'm telling you, I
crazy.
think of you all the time. You know what I mean? Like and so they saw that, and then they saw the Wishes From project. And I told them my idea, how I wanted to do it, in other places in the world. And then the school has now signed on to be the home base of Wishes from Rishikesh, where the kids are going to help get the project done. They'll travel with me to other schools, to elderly homes, to wherever, and collect as many flags as possible to sew them together, to help install them. And it's going to be really amazing. And if I'm lucky, if I can make some connections with the Nantucket schools, I hope to have the project going on here on Nantucket as well at the same time, because Nantucket's a tourist town with a tight year-round community. Rishikesh is a tourist town with a tight year-round community. The cultures are extremely different, but I'd bet,
Pretty much.
I bet they're going to wish for the same things.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
And I think that's going to be
idea.
a really cool contrast, yet similarity showing, and I'll be documenting this through video and pictures. And
Is there going to be any way for like anyone to sort of follow the action, so to speak?
yeah, once we get up and rolling, I'm going to do a Kickstarter fund because I need. That's why I'm here. I'm saving my own money to pay for things, but I'm also going to be asking, not for much money.
Yeah.
It's only going to be a few $1,000s to help, get this thing literally kickstarted. So once that starts to happen, there'll be, its own Facebook and Instagram page, and you can, just little clips of what's happening in India, what's happening in Rishikesh, what's happening in Nantucket, and then when it all goes up, what's happening, showing the installation, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, if I have enough great footage and photographs, I'll like to put together just a 20 to 40 minute documentary.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That's incredible.
Well, when that all starts to take place, definitely let us know so that we can,
I would love to keep
shout
up on
outs.
that.
or
For
shout outs,
sure.
and like we'll do posts. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We'll try to spread links.
Yeah.
Things like that. That's so cool. And is your plan of going to India? Do you have like a date or like a time of year, or is it this year definitely that you're going to be back there?
That's the plan. I should say we tried to do the project while I was there in the 3 months last time. It's just a different culture. The way things work there, the timing of everything, it just wasn't right. Couldn't find bed sheets because bed sheets are high commodity.
Right.
Even the hotels and the inns and the hostels that I went to, they're like, sorry, we give our bed sheets to our employees, and if we don't give them to our employees, we sell them. And I was like, I'll buy them. And what was also interesting, I would explain the project. From my perspective, what I saw, I didn't see a lot of art there. I mean, there's art, but it's usually depicting deities or some religion or something.
Yeah.
There's not much art for art's sake. You know, so when I would explain this project to them, they're
Kind of like
confused. They were like,
mystified,
"You're
like-
doing what? Like, why are you doing this?" And
Yeah.
so I have no idea how the project's going to be taken, if it will even be noticed. I mean, it's a crazy, chaotic place with cows and donkeys and horns and taxis and thousands of people.
And especially what's going on there right now on a political level.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into that, but
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like this. I'm not saying that you're gonna like make things better for them, but like this is like exactly
Step.
what a place like that needs right
Yeah.
now. It's what a lot of places need right now. But it seems like a great place to unpack that. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
really get it off the ground. I think that's awesome, man. And hopefully in that time, I mean, is it at least like a dream to like get it in even more places other than Nantucket and India at the same time? Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's what I've decided to do. I've decided to take the step and make this my job.
I'm trying to get it like
Yeah.
more globalized.
And I think I mean, after Nantucket, the Wishes from Nantucket, I spent many months making these brochures or packets. So let's say, Blake, you wanted to do this in, I don't know, Oklahoma. I'd be like, no problem. Here's a PDF
yeah.
explaining exactly how to do it, giving you skeleton letters. You're going to have to send this letter to your town, asking them for permission to install it on town property. Here's how much money you're going to need for this. Here's where to get your bed sheets. Here's where to get this. And make it as easy as possible for some willing soul to follow the instructions
Yeah.
and implement the plan.
That's so cool.
And if I can pull it off in Rishikesh and India at the same time, then that's a very beginning proof of concept.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's so cool, man. Well, yeah, definitely. I really appreciate you telling all these stories and telling us what you're working on. And it seems to me, we were talking a little bit about this, that like this will be a great thing for Point Nemo to like kind of follow up on.
For sure.
You know, as
Yeah,
time goes
definitely.
on.
Yeah, for sure.
And it'll be great.
I mean-
to talk to you, you know, like the next time you come back from India and
I
hear
guess-
what
yeah.
happened.
I was gonna
then,
say
you
send
know,
us
and-
one of those files, but it started.
Yeah.
It's kind of started here, so
Yeah.
like, but keep
Well,
it going
even
here.
whoever my point person is on Nantucket, yeah,
Right.
I'm still looking for a point person to take this project on, have them get paid,
Yeah.
and really spearhead it and make sure we get at least 2 or
Yeah.
3,000 flags from Nantucket,
Right.
which would be easy to do because it's been done before. And again, that's one of the nice things about, like I said earlier, putting the time into the community through theater, through magic, through teaching at the new school, through the Oliver Diamond Project, through the Wishes Project. The past month and a half has been like the warmest and kindest welcome home or welcome back for me. I run into people who I really didn't know knew me
Yeah.
or thought would forget me. And it's just been so awesome to see people and have them remember the good times that we had.
Oh yeah.
So
really
was it
cool.
Was it like Oliver Diamond was the last time, like that era was the last time you were on island?
Living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were saying New York.
And
kinda
then I came back and forth
Right.
for a couple years. And then I would come back and visit, for a week or two. And I would try to get in touch with you, but,
Numbers
I think I remember when you
change
came back and we're doing carpentry that one time.
Yeah.
And we had like, I think we'd bump into each other.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
town.
crazy how much time has passed because it does just feel like
It
when I saw you, it was like it didn't seem like it was that long ago.
It only gets faster.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry,
know.
man. I'm telling you guys, the older you get, the faster.
It's crazy. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
it every day, especially having a kid.
I was
Yeah.
It's just
even you having a kid. I remember like
It's
you
me
having your kid and like being like, oh, your kid's like 3 or and your kid's gonna be 10, and I'll be like, wow,
I'm dead.
jeez, dude.
No, I mean I'm dead.
Yeah, well, didn't sound like that.
Well, this might be a good place to close out the show. We normally ask our guests. We've only had 2 other guests. I like to ask our guests this question. And for those of you know why. But it's because the question is, what's how close have you come to death?
Yeah.
And I ask this question because, as Blake knows and some of our friends know, like we all have, but I've been there a lot, really close, and on multiple different reasons, and it's my greatest fear. So I'm curious what other people's stories are.
Well, you told me that you're going to ask me this. Are
did.
people allowed? Are people allowed? And I thought about
I was
it.
trying to be a magician and make it seem like this wasn't
no,
said.
I'm the man
it's-
behind the scenes
all good.
exposing. But and I thought about it for a little bit. And I've definitely had, like I told you, I've definitely had those about to take a left turn on my bicycle and a car flies by and like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I almost died. I could have died. Like I mentioned earlier, I had spina bifida, so that was a
Yeah.
close thing to death, whatever. But then I thought of another story that is kind of dodging the question, yet at the same time answering it.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
So when I was a kid, on my sick days, I would take my blanket and pillow and lay on the couch and watch TV. And
With saltines and ginger ale.
Blake, you just fucking read
You
my
ruined
mind.
it.
No, you read
I'm
my
kidding, I'm
mind.
kidding.
I
Wait,
swear to
did
God.
I? I didn't
No, you
read-
read my mind. It's
That's
exactly,
what- that's
it's
what
exactly what
everybody
I would
gets,
do.
right?
Yeah, that's what my mom would do.
Yeah.
And in fact,
Saltines and ginger ale.
there was this one day that I was sitting on the couch with my blanket and my dog, and it's crazy you just said that because my mom says, Mark, I got to go to the store and pick up some saltines and ginger ale. So she leaves me alone, and I was young, 6 or 7 or 8. I can't remember exactly how old. But the game shows and cartoons that morning it ended, and around 12 o'clock on comes the daytime dramas, those soap operas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on comes Days of Our Lives. Now I don't know if it's the same opening. I don't even know if it's on the
It's
air
still
anymore.
on. They have
It's
like
still on.
1,000 episodes actually.
Okay, so you know the beginning. There's an
the
hourglass.
hourglass.
Yeah.
And the guy says, like sands from the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Okay, so I don't know why, but that day it hit me, and I understood what that meant, and it freaked me out.
Like the mortality and
You're gonna die. Your time is
Yeah.
gonna come to an end.
Oh, that
And
was you realizing that. Death
realizing
comes.
I was going to die. So I stick my head in the pillow and I just start like crying and screaming. But the strange thing was when I remember slamming my eyes closed, and when I slammed my eyes closed, I got this vision of myself. But the vision of myself was from like the ceiling, the corner of the ceiling. So I kind of looked back over at the ceiling and just kind of straight weirded out, and then I went back to crying. And I saw myself again from that perspective, but I was outside myself, and I was looking at myself thinking, okay, here's this little kid with his dog wondering what the hell's going on, and he's just scared, and it's going to be okay. Now, after that, because it was daytime drama or whatnot, I went up to my room, I rearranged my room, blah, blah, blah. That night I fell asleep on the couch. In the middle of the night, I woke up and went back to bed, and I had a skylight in my room when I was a kid. And just coincidentally, where I had moved my bed in my room, I climbed into bed and I looked through the skylight and the moon was right there. And I just thought, that's weird. That's a coincidence. Like, I've never noticed that before. And so I was messing with this perspective of trying to see myself from above, which is a great tool. Anyway, fast forward 20 years or so, and I'm about to go on a cross-country trip with my buddy. My parents are separating. I just gotten dumped by one of the first true loves of my life, which you know how that feels.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just all confused. Love to me was really confusing because my parents, the only relationship that I had known was dissolving, and meanwhile I had just gotten dumped. So I kind of set out brokenhearted with my buddy. My grandfather was buried in Arlington Cemetery. So one of the things that I wanted to do on the trip was to go to Arlington Cemetery. So we roll up to Arlington Cemetery to a gate. And this is in the middle of June, keep in mind. So the sun is setting very late. So we roll up there maybe around 8:30, and nobody is at the gate. And we wait there for a few minutes, and finally I was just like, screw it, let's just drive into Arlington Cemetery. Do you all know about Arlington Cemetery?
It's
little bit, yeah.
It's in DC. No.
Yeah, it's like the most nationally guarded cemeteries.
Right,
We're
right.
a lot
all
of soldiers.
all soldiers,
All soldiers.
only soldiers,
Yeah.
only war vets.
Yeah.
There's the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier there.
I've been there on the DC trip. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, if not,
It's
you've seen
cr-
pictures of it. It's
all
massive.
white. It's like white crosses for
Yes.
ever and ever. It's
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
It's in Saving Private Ryan.
It's in
Yes,
like
it's
it's in
in
a
a lot.
lot of war
Yeah.
movies, but definitely Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. So we drive in, and I have my big red truck and camper. We're driving around looking for my grandfather's grave. Finally find it, pay tribute. We go to leave. The sun is now set by now. There's a big fat moon rising. And we go to this gate that we came in at, and the gate's closed and no guard. So we start driving around the cemetery trying to get out, but we're locked in the cemetery. My buddy at this point, he's such a good person. He's freaking out. Like, we're going to get in trouble. We're going to get in trouble. Oh, my God. And I say, Tim, let's just hang out. Well, we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, we're locked in a cemetery.
It was an accident. Let's have fun. Let's camp out.
Yeah.
Let's have some wine, smoke a bone, and camp out. So we do that. And then around 10 or 11 o'clock at night, we decided to go for a walk. And we're walking. And we were such good friends. We could almost communicate without talking or whatnot. So we just split up, and he starts going on his own walk, and I go on my own walk for a little while. I don't know how long we were separated, but then I see him again from across the cemetery, and I give him a whistle, like, shh, damn. And he's like, yo. Now keep in mind, everybody, he could have been, if I'm a point and I'm in the center of a circle, he could have been anywhere 360 degrees anywhere around me, right? We start walking towards each other. Right where we meet up, there's a dugout grave.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Somebody was being buried the next day, and it was dug out, and there was a pile of dirt. And to answer your question, I jumped in the grave, lied down, and it was the warmest, most quietest, it was extremely comforting in a strange way. But the kicker of it was I look up, and there's this big triangle with this blue sky with blades of grass creating the outline. And you know what's in the middle of the triangle? The moon.
Wow, that's insane. Just
So-
like the skylight, it's just like
Yeah, just like the skylight. And it was, again, it was
Did it take you right back there in that moment?
Yeah.
Wow.
It did, and for me, the moon is, well, beauty in general is one of those things where it's just a reminder. Like, whenever I see something like the moon, and I love the moon because it's so moody. The sun is always going to look the same, pretty much, except for sunset and through clouds. But the moon has that hanging crescent or that fat full.
yeah,
And whenever I see that big
her blood,
beautiful
man.
thing. It just reminds me that how lucky we are.
Yeah.
Just the coincidence of it all. And the fact that we can actually sit here and contemplate it and talk about it.
Yeah, and like make these like
Connections.
spiritual connections and it's crazy, man.
That's nuts.
That was a great answer to that question, and just
Maybe
far
the
out,
longest
dude.
you'll ever get.
Maybe. So do you
Vince's will probably be the longest.
do you want to close out with a song or do you have another trick?
I would love to close out with a song because of the story that I just told, and from what you all have said in this podcast. Meditation, connecting with the seer,
the entity,
Yeah. One of the things I've been doing since I got back to Nantucket was carpentry during the day, and then I'd get home and just play guitar and write songs. And this song just popped out one night recently, and it's gotten some good reception from people who I played it for. So I think y'all will like it.
Sweet.
All right, cool. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then
Do you want to should I set up this guy?
I hope it works. Maybe you can just handheld it.
I mean, I can.
Because if it goes out, we'll just cut to the other.
How do I?
Ready? When I'm feeling down and low, I look at myself from above. Try to have some empathy, try to practice my self-love. Now I ain't done collecting mistakes or heartbreaks, but taking this perspective makes them all easier to take. It's like rooting for a true lifetime friend. You really want them to win. It's like rooting for the underdog stumbling, 'cause you know that he got it within him. You'll connect to something deeper than your thoughts and skin. You'll find it's always been there. It always wins. It has no end. I like to pretend that I'm standing on the moon. Look back at where I live, where the sun is rising soon. Watch myself sip coffee, bang the nails away, and give thanks to the unknown to allow me another day. It's like rooting for a true lifetime friend. You really want them to win. It's like rooting for the underdog stumbling, 'cause you know that he got it within him. You'll connect to something deeper than your thoughts and skin. You know it's always been there. Just let it win. You will win. Now I'm past Orion's belt, beyond the Milky Way. Look back to find that pale blue dot in the void of outer space. Ain't no room for ego, better swallow all I can, and give thanks to have the chance, live on earth as a conscious man. It's like rooting for a true lifetime friend. You really want them to win. It's like rooting for the underdog stumbling, 'cause you know that he got it within him. You know it's always been there. It always wins. Connect to something deeper than your thoughts and skin. I don't have the answers, and I bet I never will, but taking this perspective over the years has served me well. The next time that you're feeling low, look at yourself from above and give thanks to be a witness to this beautiful, crazy, fucked up, amazing, happy, sad, magical world.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, I think I heard you
like
play that
that.
at the open mic I saw you.
Yes, you
I-
did.
I
Yes,
like
yes,
that
yes.
song a lot, man.
That's
I
really cool.
like that song.
That kind of sums up everything we were talking
Yeah,
about.
it
Definitely.
really does, man.
Full circle.
You wrote that fairly recently, I would imagine, no? Or
Yeah, pretty recent. I got lucky. It popped out one night, and then I woke up and I was like, okay, it needs another verse, and then it just popped out.
that's so cool when
Sometimes that
that happens.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Very
I love when
thankful.
that happens.
Yeah.
So thankful.
Yeah.
Wow, man, really awesome. Before we totally sign off, is there? We can figure this out completely after the show, but I mean, is there like things that people will be able to like that you want people to see, like websites or stuff
No,
like that?
not necessarily. Not yet.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
okay.
Yeah, like once.
But like nothing like as far as like you know, have like a SoundCloud or something if you want people to listen to some of your tunes that you have recorded. No,
don't.
nothing yet.
That's
All right.
something I would like.
Well, be
you know,
be
we'll
on
do
the
it.
lookout, and we will.
can definitely
we'll
plug it at a later time
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, for the
sure.
people on Nantucket, I mean, before I leave, before I head back to India, I do hope to have some sort of benefit, whether I do a concert or wish making kickoff. I'm making artwork right now, which I help to sell, which all proceeds will go to producing this project, and maybe I'll let you know that.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep this. We'll keep this open and going.
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome. Dude, thanks so much for doing the show.
Yeah, man.
it's really. I mean, I feel indebted to you both for forever. So, and it's my pleasure.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
You know.
Thank you, man.
And we'll keep working together on these projects.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you're here long enough too. We got to do another one.
or something. Yeah,
do
yeah.
another show. Maybe we could do another like Oliver Diamond type show. Like
I have been
Right.
I have been asked to redo Oliver Diamond, and I almost keeled over backwards when someone
Yeah,
had
they're
suggested. But I will say, if we did it again, and I'm not throwing out the possibility, you know, if we did it again, I feel like now that everybody understands what I was trying to do,
Oh yeah,
It would be.
they'd be like, okay,
like, go for it.
yeah,
yeah. Because when I was trying to explain it to people, nobody understood what the hell I was trying to do. But now that people have seen it,
It's like when you explained it at the beginning. It's like why wouldn't anyone pick that up? Or
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Pick up on that being a great idea. It makes
Yeah.
total sense. You know what I mean? But all right, man. Well, thanks a lot, and thank you all for tuning into this episode. And we'll all keep our eyes on Magic Mark.
Yeah.
You can find him if you want to. I know one thing you can check out. Check out Dead Man on Campus if you want to see Mark somewhere else.
I forgot that was it. Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to see me disappear?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay, you guys just stay.
Okay.
Just stay. Ready? Just stay very still.
Okay.
Stare at me. Don't blink. Don't do anything.
Okay.
3, 2.
Terrified.
Just stay there.
Okay.
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 Abra. Cadabra.
Oh my God, dude. Where did you go? Where did you go, dude? Mark?
Fuck. Where is he?
Mark. Well, I guess that's the end of the show.
Fuck. We lost a guest.